The Z Fold 7 has been Samsung's ultimate foldable for 7 years now, and they made some much needed improvements with last year's Z Fold 7. The problem now is that the Z Fold 7 isn't at the bleeding edge anymore, at least not for Samsung. The Z TriFold took everything that the Z Fold 7 offered and then just added another panel. Literally, that's what they did. But how do these folding smartphones from Samsung actually compare? Let's get into that. We're going to compare these two folding smartphones, the Z Fold 7 and the Z TriFold, in 5 different categories. Select the winner for each round, and in the end, crown the champion of Samsung foldables. Let's start with round 1, design. So both of these phones look very similar. Really, the only differences being one is bigger and the other one's smaller. But there are some subtle differences as well. First of all, the thickness. Obviously, the Z TriFold is thicker, but at the thinnest point unfolded, the Z TriFold is actually slightly thinner, believe it or not. It's not a huge difference, but any difference at all is really impressive. Also, the Z TriFold just feels better in the hands because it has better build materials. It has a ceramic glass fiber reinforced polymer back, which in English just means it's more durable and it looks better in my opinion. I do like that carbon fiber look that it comes with. Now, that is the only color you can get. The Z Fold 7 comes in different colors, but I like that one color better than any of the other colors that the Z Fold 7 offers anyways. And not only that, let's just face it. Pulling the Z TriFold out of your pocket will just turn way more heads because it's new, it's different than the Z Fold 7. It's a marvel of engineering when you hold it in your hands. And because of that, this first round goes to the Z TriFold. Round 2 is performance. Now, both of these phones have the Snapdragon 8 Elite inside. Both have the same graphics chipset as well, but the Z TriFold has 16 gigabytes of base starting RAM, while the Z Fold 7 starts with 12 gigabytes. You can upgrade it to 16 gigs as well with a higher storage option. So by default, the Z TriFold should be better at multitasking, which obviously this phone is made for. Now, battery life is kind of up in the air. The Z Fold 7 has a measly 4,400 milliamp hour battery, which still performs decent, especially when you consider the size of the inner display and that small battery. It's performed better than I actually thought it would. But the Z TriFold has a 5,600 milliamp hour battery. Still relatively small when you consider it has a larger 10-inch display. But here's my theory. Since you probably will be using the outer display most of the time, and then when you want to get more work done, you want to multitask, when you want to watch content, you're going to open it up and use that inner display. That's where most of the battery consumption will take place, but you're not doing most of your things on that phone. At least that's not what I do on my Z Fold 7. I use the outer display for most things, and I use the inner display for certain things. And I think that will be the same for the Z TriFold, which means having that 1,000 plus milliamp hours inside that phone is going to come really in handy. And I truly believe the TriFold will perform or outperform the Z Fold 7 when it comes to battery life. Plus, the TriFold has 45 watt fast charging, while the Z Fold 7 is stuck with 25 watt fast charging. And because of that and the larger starting RAM size, the Z TriFold takes this round. Round 3 is display. Now, these phones are all about displays. The Z Fold 7 has an outer display of 6.5 inches, 120 Hz with 2600 nits of peak brightness. An excellent display by any account. The Z TriFold has the same exact outer display. But when it comes to the inner displays, that's where these things start to really show their differences. The Z Fold 7 obviously has a smaller display. It's only 8 inches, but it's 120 Hz and it's also 2600 nits of peak brightness. It has this weird aspect ratio that everyone talks about, so watching content isn't the best on the Z Fold 7, but the Z TriFold has a 10-inch display, 120 Hz as well, and it has a much better aspect ratio, but that display is only 1,600 nits of peak brightness, which is kind of surprising. Also, when it comes to resolution, the smaller 8-inch display on the Z Fold 7 is way sharper. The Z Fold 7's inner display is 368 ppi compared to 269 ppi on the Z TriFold. So although the 10-inch display on the Z TriFold is bigger, It has a better aspect ratio for watching content. When it comes to actually comparing those two displays side by side, when you look at resolution and brightness, the Z Fold 7 is way better. Now, I do much prefer a 10-inch display over an 8-inch display. I like the bigger displays, but I'm gonna try to be objective here. And honestly, it surprised me. The Z Fold 7's display is better, and because of that, it takes this round. Number 4 is durability. Now, let's face it, both of these phones aren't the best when it comes to durability. They both have an IP rating of IP48, so some water and dust resistance, although you just want to keep these phones as far away from water and dust as you possibly can. And as I mentioned previously, the ceramic back on the Z TriFold should be more durable than the Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on the Z Fold 7. But I really think this round comes down to that inner display. The Z TriFold just has a bigger display to damage. Not to mention 2 hinges instead of just one like the Z Fold 7, which can get damaged and cause more issues for that inner display. Plus, the triple folding screen is newer, it's less proven. Samsung hasn't had years to develop and continue to make that screen more durable like they've done with the Z Fold 7, which always spells durability issues, at least when it comes to Gen 1 products. In my opinion, because of those things, the Z TriFold is less durable than the Z Fold 7. Not only that, but if the Z TriFold were to actually break and have a damaged inner display, that inner display on the Z TriFold is going to be significantly more than the already expensive Z Fold 7's inner display. So because of those things, this round goes to the Z Fold 7. So after 4 rounds, we have a tie. 2 rounds for the Z Fold 7 and 2 rounds for the Z TriFold. The last round is going to decide it all, and that round is features. Now, both of these phones have the same exact camera system, so nothing really to distinguish these phones there. But one feature I am really looking forward to is Samsung DeX on the Z TriFold, because now you can use Samsung DeX without a monitor, without having to connect it to an external display like the Z Fold 7. You can simply switch to DeX mode whenever you want, whenever you open up to that 10-inch display, which is, in my opinion, a game changer. DeX is awesome. I've said it before, and now having it all the time, whenever you want it, I feel is just an awesome feature. And other features like faster charging on the Z TriFold, like I mentioned earlier, is not found on the Z Fold 7. But I think what really makes this round an easy choice, and it's probably the best feature of all the features, is the size and aspect ratio of the inner displays. The 10-inch inner display of the Z TriFold is a full tablet display that actually feels like a real tablet. You're getting extra real estate and a better viewing experience, which in my opinion, in my use case, is the whole point of a folding display. And because of that feature alone, in my opinion, the Z TriFold takes this round. Which means the Galaxy Z TriFold is the winner of this tech battle. Now, you may not agree with my choices here, and if you don't, you probably don't, comment down below and let me know which phone you would choose as the winner for each of these rounds. I'm gonna post all the results on the TechVerve Instagram channel and YouTube and also X, so make sure you follow TechVerve on all those socials so you can see what the viewers thought was a better smartphone. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next one.